So you want to ride a brevet. Good for you. What is a brevet? Well, a brevet is a type of long-distance, unsupported bike ride. Why would you want to ride a brevet? Well, for most club riders, a century is the ultimate distance. But a few cyclists reach the end of a century thinking, I wish this was longer. Brevets are for you. You can ride brevets in about 30 different countries, and the rules are pretty much the same everywhere. I'm going to assume you're in the US. The governing body here is RUSA. I'll put a link in the description below. The shortest brevet distance is 200 kilometers. That's about 124 miles. It's a comfortable step up from a century. Most organized century rides are fully supported, but brevets are not. You'll have to learn how to be self-sufficient. So the first thing you'll need to do is decide which brevet you want to ride. I strongly recommend starting with the 200 kilometer distance. Before you can ride a brevet, you have to be a member of RUSA for insurance purposes. Go to the RUSA website and search for rides. You'll see this page. Select a region, a distance, and a month. Each region has its own ride organizer. Click on Info to go to their website. A RUSA membership lets you ride brevets anywhere in the US, but you'll probably spend most of your time riding locally. Use the ride organizer's website to get more information, including a cue sheet, a GPX file, fees, start times, and other rules. Incidentally, a person who organizes brevets in a specific area is known as an RBA, a Regional Brevet Administrator. Back to your route. This is a reasonable amount of climbing for your first 200k brevet. Now, how hot might it get? Well, I'll probably be in Carpinteria at 2 p.m. and WeatherSpark says the temperature will be around 80. The coldest part of this ride will probably be at the start, which is in Malibu at 7 a.m. WeatherSpark suggests the temperature will be in the mid-60s. This is the temperature range I will need clothing for. I expect to take 10 hours to complete this ride. That means I'll be riding from 7 a.m. till 5 p.m. Looking at the sunrise and the sunset times for Malibu in August, I can see I won't need lights. But I'll probably take some anyway, just in case. RUSA has some strict rules about high visibility and reflective gear and lights that you should be aware of. On the RUSA website, go to About and Rules for Riders and read that. This may all seem like overkill, but you'll feel silly if you can't complete your first brevet simply because you didn't realize how cold it was going to get. Now, on the day of the ride, you're going to have to produce proof of passage. You see, the ride organizer will have chosen controls along the route. To prove that you did ride the route, you need to prove that you went to each of those controls. And there are two main ways of doing this. The old school way is with a brevet card. This was used primarily before the pandemic. Here's an example of the outside and the inside of a brevet card. It lists all of the controls. As you reach each control, you get a stamp, or a signature, or a receipt, or a piece of information. At the end of the ride, you give it to the ride organizer. They check it, they sign it, you sign it, they keep it, and return it to you at the end of the year. The other option, which has come into use since the pandemic, is to use a head unit or an app on your phone to track your ride. After the ride, you upload it to Ride with GPS or Strava, and then you email a link to the ride organizer. The ride organizer will let you know ahead of time which they prefer. Whichever way you record the route, I recommend also taking selfies at each of the controls. I've known riders lose their brevet cards and I've known head units to crash. Well, I think that's enough advice. Now get out there and ride.